Hi there. Welcome to WellHouse. I'm Cullen, the lead and founding pastor of WellHouse Church. And in August of 2020, I was frustrated with what I saw in the church. I just thought there were some problems that I could fix. A lot of them just simply economic and structural. And so I wanted to make a decentralized network of house churches to try to cut down all the overhead. Like the overhead on churches is too high that they can't do any real work. And so, anyways, me and a handful of other people, mostly family, tried to set out to do this goal. And along the way, we lost funding. I got 3 degrees to be a pastor. There are very few people that are more educated, qualified, and trained to do this work than me. And I ended up in a place where I was too liberal for the conservative evangelical tradition that I grew up in, that trained me, that has invested almost $250,000 into my education. Um, they just booted me out of the church planting program without even a phone call. They did it without calling me or speaking to me. Anyways, it doesn't matter. The reason I'm making this video is because I wanted you to know our backstory and what you might find here. This page is called WellHouse Church. I never wanted to call it that. I really wanted to call it WellHouse Collective, but that was already taken. But it much better represented who we were and what we were trying to accomplish. I mean, we are faith-based people steeped in the Christian tradition. Like, I consider myself a Christian. But we don't really do church stuff right now. We're trying to regroup, get our feet back under us after we lost our funding, and that pretty much took me out of commission for anything full time. And so I wanted to make this video because I wanted to tell you what you might find here. If you go back to the videos posted before this one, I think you're going to find a pretty angry, hurt tone against conservative evangelicals. I'm still pretty angry. I mean, maybe that's not true. I still think they're very wrong, and I'm vehement at being outspokenly against them. And when I do that personally, I take on a bit more of an aggressive tone, and I'm okay with that. I feel like my bite has some merit based on our history together. But moving forward, that's definitely not what I want. And there was a lot of long form conversation. I love long form podcasting. I think I will go back to that one day. I don't know in what venue, but we used to run 4 podcasts a week, and I used to do a story. A story is like a short sermon that I did in video form, kind of like this one. Now, WellHouse is just my passion project. It's just what I wanted it to. I just get to try to do what I wanted to do when I have time to do it, and how I best see to do it. And instead of, to use old church planting and church lingo, I made the mistake that church has been making for 40 years. And I took the build it and they'll come mentality. And so I built WellHouse out to damn near everything I had dreamed up. We were only missing one piece of what I had dreamed up for full scale vision. And I launched all of that for 7 people. And that was a mistake. I shouldn't have done that. So we're regrouping. I'm now coming at this from a very different angle. Me and my co-host on Pints and Perspectives, Adam, my best friend from seminary, who also has 2 theology degrees. We're bringing back Pints and Perspectives, but it's going to be very different. We're moving it back to my house. We're changing the structure of it. It's not going to be an hour of long-form, dense theological conversation about a theological topic. It's broken up into segments. And we've already filmed 2 of them. The first one will be released this month in March, and it's about AI and theological anthropology and what makes a human. So we're trying to take more creative, conversational, cultural, theological conversations and bridging them into a segmented podcast show. So we'll have an intro, At some point, we do a segment called Art Archives where we talk about different art and literature and film that this topic may have had. We do theology throwbacks where we reach back and get a historical theology figure, theologian or pastor that has had some great contribution in this conversation. And we'll do different segments and things with a good 20, 25 minute, we call it the divine discourse. Like the meat of the conversation will still be that kind of long form conversation, but it'll only be 20 minutes long with these other mini segments and such scattered throughout. And so I really like that. That's going to be released monthly. And then at some point, I'll bring back my stories. They'll be very different, though. There'll be a lot of B-roll. They'll be more highly produced. I've learned a lot with video and editing since I was doing those. And I want to bring those back just when I'm ready. Right now, I still feel a bit strange about all of it. And I'm struggling with some of the ways that in my early years I weaponized some of these things. And so once I work that out in therapy and how that's hindering me from picking up the Bible again and reading, I'll bring back my stories. And those will be very short, 6 to 8 minute long kind of things, highly produced, a lot of B-roll, but they'll be talking head like this. And it'll be a short sermon, I call them a story, because I don't like the sermons suck, let's be honest. Anyways, this has been way longer than I wanted it to be, and I'm sure it'll be pretty choppy because I won't put all of it in here. I hope you enjoyed the new tone of WellHouse Church. I hope it's enriching to you. I hope we can continue to grow this community, and hopefully one day it will evolve into the dream, the vision that I had for it. But that's not my motivation anymore. For me, now this is just a place where I come to have the conversations that I need to have anyways, and hopefully invite you into those conversations, because 3 degrees in this stuff should tell you that I'm searching for answers. And to be quite honest, I got more questions now than when I went in. And I think that's the way it should be. The more you look and search upon the grandeur of God, it should be more difficult to understand. I just think that's how it should work. The closer you get to something so majestic and miraculous and transcendent, the more we should struggle to comprehend and communicate those truths. So I'm going to have these conversations anyways. It's pretty easy to put a camera in front of it, and I hope you enjoy them. I hope you enjoy the new tone. I hope you enjoy what we're coming up with, and I hope you hear our heart, that we want the church to be something different. I couldn't be more truthful when I say that the church has lost its way in every way. I struggle even going into one because I've studied them inside and out, and I see the corruption within them. I hope that there can be change, that the church can go back to being what it was supposed to be in the New Testament time. And so join us with that heart and these really cool, cultural, fun conversations on Pints and Perspectives and the stories that we're going to bring. And hopefully we'll be able to bring in more collaborators to begin doing some other monthly shows and get back to a higher level of output than we've had, over the last year or so. But thanks for being here. I hope you enjoy.